Good day once again. Let's continue now with our discussion. And previously, we've been talking about what is the contribution of Socrates in the life on how you'd be able to understand ourselves. Likewise with Plato and Saint Augustine, and also been talking about also the importance of the contribution of Rene Descartes, John Locke, and David Hume to our results. Now, this day we are going to talk about Immanuel Kant. Now, who is Immanuel Kant? Philosopher Immanuel Kant is a central figure in modern philosophy. His contribution to metaphysics, epistemology, ethics, and aesthetics have a profound impact on almost every philosophical movement that followed him. Among other ideas that Kant proposed was that the human mind creates the structure of human experience. Now, in order for us to understand fully, so let's try to define of those other branches of philosophy that Immanuel Kant mentioned in order for us to grasp and in order for us to understand fully why this metaphysics, epistemology, and aesthetics are very important on how we'd be able to understand ourselves fully. Now, let's try to define first what is aesthetics. Aesthetics is one of the branch of the philosophy that study the fundamental nature of reality. So we've been talking about reality. This is me. We are talking about the self per se. The first principle of being identity and change space and time, causality, necessity, and possibility. So if you are going to talk about metaphysics, the fundamental nature of reality. So yung pagkatao natin, para mas lalo natin maintindihan, ikaw yun ang realidad. If you're going to try to wear mask, so definitely you're going to struggle because you cannot able to live in your own reality world. Now, epistemology is the study of knowledge. So in order for us to understand fully, so Immanuel Kant partly is correct of those branches that he mentioned, especially the branches of philosophy that has really a big impact on how we'll be able to grasp fully our results. Then while metaphysics is the study of reality, so ating unawain na maigi, knowledge. May kaalaman ka. Lahat dito. Pero paano rin yung realidad? Paano natin i-apply yung realidad sa ating natutunan? If you says na mabait ka na anak, sinasabi mo yun mabait ka. Kasi yun ang nasa utak mo. Yun nasa puso mo, nasa isipan mo. Pero ano yung realidad? Hindi napapakita yung kabaitan natin kasi nasusuklian at natatabunan ng yung totoong pag-uugali natin na siya makikita ng mga taong nakapaligid sa atin. E paano naman yung aesthetics or aesthetics? Aesthetics is a branch of philosophy that deals with the nature of beauty and taste. Sa pananamit natin ito nasusukat. Kung paano ka mananamit, it's not the basis para ihusgahan natin ng isang tao. Porket pangit manamit ng isang tao, ganun yung pag-ugali niya. Porket maganda yung pagpanamit ng isang tao, maangat siya sa buhay at marangal yung pamumuhay niya. Porket may mga tattoos, kriminal ka agad. Papanghusga tayo minsan. Minsan sinasabi natin na ito pala yun ang totoo. Marami siyang tattoo kasi addict siya. Marami siyang tattoo kasi galing siya sa kulungan. Pero ang totoo, hindi mo alam. Haka-haka lang yun. Chismis lang yun. So, also, pinapakita sa atin ni Immanuel Kant kung ano yung realidad ng pagkatao natin. Kung ano yung realidad na pagtingin natin sa ating sarili at sa kapwa natin, ay namabatay pa rin sa ating totoong pagkatao. Now, let's continue. Reason is the final authority of morality. So ito yung sinaspanay ang pinaka-famous line ni Immanuel Kant. Morality is achieved only when there is absence of war because of the results of enlightenment. So, reason is the final authority of morality. Gawin ko to kasi ayon to. Iiwasan ko to. And I forgot that also Immanuel Kant was able to mention about the word ethics. So let's try to define first what is ethics or moral philosophy. Ethics also is one of the branch of the philosophy that involves systematizing, defending, and recommending concepts of right and wrong behavior. So kung do you think na tama yung pinapakita mo, then continue. If do you think that's mali yan, stop. If do you think that somebody will be able to be affected of your wrong attitude, then try to say sorry and admit of your shortcomings. Hindi naman tayo mga perfecto. Nagkakamali din tayo. Okay, no? Kant view of the self is transcendental. So, pag sinabi natin transcendental, yung pataas. Hindi pa ba ascending yun? Descend tayo. Okay? In philosophy, transcendence is the basic ground concept from the words of literal meaning, climb. So, akyat tayo, and then, or going beyond. With varying connotation, it's different historical and cultural stages. Kaya nga, pag yung taong umaangat na, huwag nyo nang hilahing pababa. Mentalidad naman ng mga Pilipino, kasama ko doon. Kasi Pilipino din ako. Kung sino pa yung umaangat, kahit nasa realidad ng ating pamilya, kung sino pa yung umaangat, pilit nating binababa. Tulungan natin i-push upang mas lalo pang makamtan ang kanyang hadikain sa buhay. At malay mo, someday somehow, isa ka din sa matutulungan sa pag-aangat ng kanyang buhay. Kasi karamihan sa umaangat, daming komento ang nakikita ng kapwa-tao. Isa lang masasabi ko doon, inggit ka lang. Inggit lang tayo sa tagumpay ng iba. Be your own. Kaya nga sabi ni Immanuel Kant, ito yun, ang realidad mo. Ikaw yan, pinapakita natin. Okay? Then the self is not the body. The self is outside the body. And it does not have the qualities of the body. Despite being transcendental, Kant stressed that the body and its qualities are rooted to the self. Pag sinabi mong, the self is not the body, bakit? Physical ang nakikita. Pag sinasabi nating internal, yung soul. Kung sino ang nagbigay sa atin para makagalaw tayo. The spirit or the soul of us. Okay? Now, he proposed that it's knowledge that bridge the self and the material things together. Mahirap din yan. Kaya minsan, we are barking in a wrong tree kasi pilit sinasabi ng sarili mo na, I am better than you, pero ang realidad, you're so weak. Daming galing-galingan, kunwari magaling, matalino, ito nga ang realidad, bato-bato sa langit. Pasensya na po. Daming gusto maging owner, pero ang realidad, hindi naman nag-aaral. Kasi, nakadepende lang kay Google. Pag-aralan naman ang binibigay, huwag panay Google. Kasi pag panay ka Google, ikaw din ang maiipit nun. Okay? Two kinds of consciousness of self or the rationality. Consciousness of oneself and one's psychological sense in inner sense. And consciousness of oneself and one's states by performing acts of perception. So, inner sense. So, ano yung mga naramdaman mo? Acts of perception. Yung ginawa mo kasi ito yung nasa utak mo. Ay ito, ayon to. Maganda to. Pag sinabi natin a perception, okay, is the mental process by which a person makes sense of an idea by assimilating it to the body of ideas or he or she already possesses. Kaya ko to, kaya niya to, gagawin ko to. Hindi kayabangan. Mas maganda gagawin natin isang bagay with full of humbleness para mas lalo natin makamtan at maabot ang ninanais natin. Kant's point is that what truly exists are your ideas and your knowledge of your ideas. That you perceive the outside world through the self with your ideas. So, sabi niya, your ideas and your knowledge of your ideas that you perceive outside the world. So nonetheless, hindi mo siya nakikita pa internal. Nakikita mo sa palabas. Kung ano yung nakikita mo, you pause for a moment and you reflected in that thing Kasi alam mo, marami ka pang ideas na pwede mong magagamit. Pero ang tanong, sa tamang pamamaraan din ba natin na ibibigay yung tamang idea natin? Ikaw lang makasagot nun. Okay? And also Kant pointed out that the material world is not just an extension and that you are merely seeing objects. So, pag sinabi ting ikaw na yan, wala akong magagawa. Minsan, nakabox in yung pag-uugali ng isang tao. Minsan sinasabi natin, ikaw yun. Hindi ka na talaga magbabago. Paano ikaw? Hindi ka pa rin nagbabago. The way you look at other people surrounds you. Before you said that I'm going to get that speck from your eyes, kunin mo muna yung sarili mong puweng para makita mo din ang realidad kung ano yung ninanais mo at gusto mong makita. Pangit naman kung ang realidad lang ng ibang hinahanap mo. Pero yung realidad sa totoong pagkatao mo at ugali mo, hindi mo rin nakikita. Okay? Now, let's continue. These ideas are what connect you to the external world. He depended the diverse quality or state of the body and soul, presenting the bodies are objects of outer sense, souls are objects of inner sense. Bodies are objects of outer sense. So, ito, pag magdamit ka ngayon ng sexy masyado, tapos may magdaan ng mga lalaki, for example, babae ka nagdamit ng sexy masyado, tapos minsan magwiwisel sila. O, ano maramdaman mo? Bastos ka. O di ba? O sino nag-utos ngayon na mabastos ka? Ikaw lang din. Sino nag-utos na mapansin ka? Ikaw lang din. Alam mo naman, we are not liberated people in our country. Our country are very conservative. Kung lalaki ka ngayon, nakapusturang ang gagara. Pero ang tanong, napapansin ka ng paligid kasi hating gabi ka lumalabas. Ano palang trabaho mo? Oh, the reality says, ikaw yan. Pero hindi namin alam kung anong ginagawa mo. Ikaw lang din ang nakakaalam nun. Both babae and lalaki. Ang gagara ng panamit paghating gabi. Umuwi ng madaling araw, minsan umaga na, minsan tanghali na. Kung ano yung realidad ng pagkatao mo, that's your business. Dapat hindi pakialaman ng iba. Minsan yung iba nangingialam ng buhay na may buhay. Inggit ka lang. Respeto lang po para mas magkakaroon tayo ng matiwasay na pamumuhay sa ating mamamayan, kung saan tayo banda sa ating sosyedad. Kasi hindi lahat na nakatira sa ating sosyedad ay akma at ayon sa iyong iniisip na marumi man, kung malinis, di mas maganda kasi walang faction mangyayari. Just like respect one another. Ma-teacher ka man, may estudyante ka man, ma-parent ka man, o ma-anak ka man, ang mahalaga doon ay natili pa rin ang pagkamagalang natin. Okay? Let's continue. The two components of the self. One is the inner and the second one is the outer self. The inner self, the self by which you are aware of alterations in your own state. This includes your rational intellect and your psychological states such as your moods, feelings and sensations, pleasure and pain. So ito yung sa inner self mo. Alam na alam mo yung naramdaman mo, ano, kung moody ka ba ngayon o hindi. And then the sensations, the pleasure, the pain. That's an inner self. Pero pag sinasabi nating outer self, it includes your senses, the physical world. So, yung sa paligid mo na. Kaya mas maganda if you are still here in your nutshell, learn to go out and explore the world. Para maramdaman mo din ang totoong buhay sa labasan. Okay? Now, it is the common boundary between the external world and the inner self. It gathers information from external world through the senses, which the inner self interprets and coherently expresses. Kant proposed the self organizes information in three ways. So ito yung i-propose ni Kant, that the self organizes information in three ways. Raw perceptual Input, recognize the concept, and reproducing the imagination. Perceptual, recognizing the concept, kung paano nabubuo, paano mo siya nakikita at na-appreciate, at paano mo tumang. And the imagination, kung isa sa buhay ko to, ito na kaya mangyayari. Ganun. Kant's self has unified of self-reference. You are conscious of yourself as the subject, and you are conscious of yourself as a common subject of different representations. Here, Kant confirms that the impressions you perceive point to one single common fact: the self is the subject these experiences. All of those things, kaya nga, pag hindi mo pa nasubukan, hindi mo pa naranasan, hindi mo masabi ang tamis ng tagumpay. Kaya nga, mas maganda pag nasubukan muna natin, pag na-try muna natin para mabalance din natin ang mali, iwasan ang tama at ipagpatuloy. Kasi pag hindi mo pa nasubukan ang mga bagay-bagay sa mundo, be humble. Kaya huwag mong sabihin pag nakatrabaho ka na magaling ka na sa magulang mo. Huwag mong sabihin porket you will able to defend yourself sa mga discussion, matalino ka na. Huwag mong sabihin naka-perfect ka lang ng score, ikaw ang pinakamatalino. Pag yan consistent ang nagawa mo, then superb attitude. At yun yung ginawa mo sa tamang pamamaraan at hindi ka na-cheat. Kasi dami tayong mga karanasan na pwede nating ibahagi sa iba, na may mga karanasan ding iba na pwedeng gawin sa kanila lamang yun sekreto at palihim. May mga karanasan ding pwedeng maging tularan, may mga karanasan ding pwedeng ingatan. Hindi lahat ng experience nakakabuti sa kapwa. Kung naranasan mo ng matamasa ang buhay na tinatahak mo ngayon, maswerte ka. Kung natamasa mo na ang buhay sa kasalukuyan, nang dahil sa mga magulang mo, magpasalamat ka sa kanila. Kung naranasan mo ng mapait sa pamumuhay, magsumikap ka. It's not too late. It's not the end of the world. Prove it to the world that you can manage everything. By hook and by crook, you will do everything for yourself, for the betterment of yourself, for your family, and for your futures of family. Have a nice day. See you to our next discussion. God bless us.